ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Andrew Cuomo. Yes, that Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York, the man who once basked in the glow of Emmy Awards and nationwide adulation during the height of the COVID pandemic. Cuomo is now on a public relations tour, popping up on WABC radio, representing Benjamin Netanyahu, even floating the idea of a run for mayor of New York City. But before you start humming New York, New York, and picturing a political comeback, let's take a hard look at the facts. Facts provided not by his Republican critics, but by Democrats. This week, a report from the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, endorsed by all Democrats on the panel, delivered a scathing indictment of Cuomo's actions during the pandemic. It concluded that Cuomo and his top aides interfered with the Department of Health's data reporting, undercounted nursing home deaths, and issued a controversial directive to return COVID patients to nursing homes, a move that arguably contradicted federal guidance. This isn't partisan spin. Democrats like Queens Assemblyman Ron Kim, who's been vocal in his criticism, have stood shoulder to shoulder with Republicans, pointing out Cuomo's failures. This isn't about politics, according to Assemblyman Kim. Quote, "We had a whole slew of other Democrats who saw what the former administration did was wrong and wanted to take it as far as impeachment." Now, let's pause on that word, wrong. Because wrong doesn't just mean bad policy or poor judgment. It means families grieving without answers, loved ones lost in nursing homes while the state obfuscated data. The report found Cuomo's administration, quote, repeatedly refused to release data that the public had a right to see. Cuomo's defense? He's painting himself as a victim of a political vendetta. But the facts say otherwise. Democrats in Congress, not just Republicans, endorsed this report. Cuomo's actions or inactions hurt the very people he claimed to protect. And now he wants to be mayor? Let's not kid ourselves. Leadership isn't about spin, awards, or catchy sound bites. It's about trust, transparency, and accountability. And Cuomo, by his own record, fails on all three counts. Don't let the polished image fool you. This is the same man whose mishandling of a crisis cost lives and trust. It's not just Cuomo lied, people died. It's Cuomo gambled with New Yorkers' lives and lost. So as Cuomo tries to reinvent himself, remember this. His past isn't some distant history. It's a blueprint of how he operates. He's no leader. He's a menace. And the Democrats, as well as Republicans, are saying so loud and clear.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. Folks, let me take a moment to talk about one of the finest individuals I know, Arthur Adiala. If you're not familiar with him, let me paint you a picture. He's a brilliant attorney with a resume that spans the legal spectrum. Prosecutor, defense attorney, and managing partner of a major law firm. He's also a proud Brooklyn native with deep roots in the community and someone I'm proud to call one of my closest friends. Now, Arthur's name is being floated as a potential candidate for U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District. There's a big article in the Daily News today about it. I just linked to it on my Facebook page. And I can't think of anyone better suited for the job. This isn't just my bias talking. It's his track record. Arthur has handled high-profile cases with integrity and skill, representing clients ranging from Rudy Giuliani to Harvey Weinstein. But what sets him apart isn't just his legal acumen, it's his character. I've known Arthur for many years. He's someone who combines intellect, charm, and an unwavering sense of justice. He's honest, loyal, and trustworthy, qualities that are indispensable for a role as critical as U.S. Attorney. This is the person who will be responsible for overseeing some of the most complex and sensitive federal cases in the nation. From corruption to organized crime to civil rights, the Eastern District handles it all, and we need someone at the helm who can navigate those waters with both competence and class. Arthur is also a quintessential New Yorker, and that matters. He understands the challenges of this city because he's lived them. He grew up here, built his career here, and has always given back to the community. His deep ties to Brooklyn and his reputation for fairness make him uniquely equipped to serve in this capacity. Some might raise eyebrows about his connections to Rudy Giuliani, to Eric Adams, and to others in the public eye. But let me tell you something. Knowing people in high places isn't a liability. It's a strength. Arthur has relationships across the political spectrum, and that's exactly what we need in a U.S. attorney. Someone who can build bridges, work with everyone, and get the job done. To President Trump, I say this: appointing Arthur Adiala as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District isn't just a good idea, it's the best idea. He has the qualifications, the experience, and most importantly, the character to serve this role with distinction. New York deserves a U.S. Attorney who understands our city, values justice, and has the courage to make tough decisions. Arthur Adiala is that person. Let's make it happen. I've got my fingers crossed. I mean, if he doesn't get appointed, he's still got a lucrative private practice that I'm sure will do very well. But for the sake of this city and this country, he should be appointed.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code listen50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code listen50. T's and C's apply.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Kathy Hochul's revised congestion pricing plan is barreling towards implementation, and it's clear that the real issue isn't a lack of funds for the MTA, it's runaway spending. Former Suffolk County Executive Steve Levy, now head of the Center for Cost-Effective Government, has a bold proposal that deserves our attention. Levy argues that the solution lies in establishing a financial control board to oversee MTA expenditures. Such boards have worked before, in the 1970s for New York City and more recently for counties like Nassau and Erie. They've slashed inefficiencies, renegotiated unsustainable contracts, and restored fiscal health to struggling institutions. For the MTA, a control board could be transformative. Consider the facts. In 2022, the MTA lost $690 million in unpaid fares and tolls. Meanwhile, engineers and conductors make an average of $283,000 a year. Average! With some employees earning more in overtime than most people make in a year. One person raked in $344,000 in overtime alone. And let's not forget the $7 million doghouse and $10,000 desk jobs. This isn't just wasteful. It's insulting to the taxpayers and commuters who are being asked to foot the bill through congestion pricing. Levy's proposal would link federal funding to the establishment of a control board. The federal government, under President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, could provide a one-time infusion of cash, but only if New York agrees to impose serious oversight on the MTA. This would allow the control board to rein in wasteful spending, renegotiate bloated contracts, and curb overtime abuse. The MTA's inefficiencies are staggering. New York pays 7 times more to construct a mile of subway than other cities. Subway service delays have tripled, and in 2025, the agency is staring down a $2.5 billion, that's billion with a B, budget gap. Without a control board, motorists, taxpayers, and transit riders will inevitably be hit with more fees, more taxes, and more broken promises. Levy's plan solves the congestion pricing dilemma while delivering accountability. Thankfully, legislators like State Senator Dean Murray are already working on bills to push this forward. If Governor Hochul and federal leaders embrace this proposal, all sides can win, especially beleaguered taxpayers. Let's get behind Levy's plan. It's time to demand better from the MTA. I think Steve actually has a New York Post op-ed about this in the next day or two, but whether he does or not, it's definitely worth considering.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around because I have a story so absurd you'd think it came straight from a comedy sketch. Only it's not funny, at least not if you're a taxpayer in Newark, New Jersey. Picture this. A school district entrusted with educating children and funded largely by state taxpayers decides to throw a superintendent's fun day. The venue? A swanky wedding hall. The activities? Rock climbing, hula hooping, egg tosses, and claw machines. The bill? A whopping $43,813.90. Now, I'm all for morale building and team bonding, but when that price tag lands squarely on the shoulders of taxpayers, we have a problem. A big one. An investigation by the Office of Fiscal Accountability and Compliance in New Jersey concluded that this extravaganza violated state rules because it lacked anything remotely educational or professionally developmental. The state demanded that the Newark School District repay $33,000 of the state-funded portion. Guess who's left holding the rest of the bill? You guessed it. Newark taxpayers. That's right. Families who are already struggling to make ends meet are now funding a party that included a cornhole tournament. Talk about adding insult to injury. Now, let's put this in perspective. Newark's school district operates on a staggering $1.5 billion budget, 76% of which comes from state taxpayers. And this isn't an isolated incident of fiscal irresponsibility. State Senator Declan O'Scanlan pointed out Newark's outrageous travel and professional development budgets, calling them 90% partying, 10% questionable professional development. The man's got a point. While Newark students face challenges like outdated resources and overcrowded classrooms, their district leadership is busy justifying rock walls and limbo contests as strategic objectives. The district's response? A shrug and a thanks for the guidance to the state for explaining how to throw a compliant fun day next time. That's like getting caught speeding and thanking the officer for clarifying the speed limit. The audacity is breathtaking. Here's the bottom line. Taxpayers expect their hard-earned dollars to educate children, not bankroll lavish staff parties. Newark families deserve better. New Jersey taxpayers deserve better. And if the leadership of this district doesn't realize that soon, soon, it's time for the voters or the state to send a message louder than any carnival ride bell. Let's get serious about fiscal responsibility in our schools, because the real fun day should be the one where Newark students finally get the education they deserve, not where the district officials play egg toss on the taxpayer's dime.
Beam me up.
To be continued.